Hi, my name is Ryan, and I am sitting with the wonderful Hana Zara, and you are watching Rocket Shop Total Request Live at Main Street Landing. And this show is presented jointly by Big Heavy World, Main Street Landing, and RETN. Yes, thank you, some wonderful supporters. And this show is also supported by the wonderful Advanced Music, Moreau Theatrical Services, the Vermont Arts Council, and the Natural Endowment for the Arts, and Chocolate Milk. If it's not a chocolate body, it's not rocking your body, chocolate milk. Let's get a round of applause for our sponsors here. Thank you very much. I'm filling in today. Unfortunately, if you know Big Heavy World, you know it's run by Jim Lockridge. The normal host is Sophia Lockridge. That's Jim's daughter. Unfortunately, she passed away. We thought she was 12, but it turned out she had an acute symptom of Benjamin Button syndrome, and she was really like 89. So moment of silence for Sophia Lockridge, please. All right, thank you. So I'm sitting here with Hana, not Hana, don't say Hana. And I first met Hana like a month ago, and she was on a radio show similar to this, but without visuals, so it was way more boring because it was the radio and you cut out one of your senses. And I listen to the show all the time. And the interview was pretty good. It was a good interview. But when I heard her voice, I was like, holy, censored, this is really, really good. And what I think was really amazing about it is a lot of people that aren't from Vermont don't realize that Vermont, though a small microcosm of the big world of cultural music, is actually thriving with amazing, gorgeous, awesome artists putting the most incredible art out into the world, and nobody hears about it because we're not Boston, we're not New York. So it's really great when you hear artists like Hana putting music on the map. So I have to know, how'd you get started?
Well, so I'm from Burlington originally, but I moved out to Nebraska when I was 14 with my parents. And when I first got out there, I didn't have any friends. I didn't know anybody, and my parents bought me a guitar and a year of guitar lessons. And I started writing songs.
So, typical music question. If you had to boil your entire music cultural experience down to one influential piece of music, what would that be to you? What influenced you the most as music to create your own?
In terms of like albums or artists?
Artists.
Okay, I would have to say Jeff Magnum of Neutral Milk Hotel.
Excellent. And what was it about that? What spoke to you? Like, what spoke to your soul? Like, it's hard. People don't realize it, but it's really hard to pick up an instrument and to put your feelings and emotions into words, and then music, and then to play it for other people, even if it's just in a coffee shop, let alone a TV show or a crowd of people where there's lights and there's like a projector and someone taking pictures, and you got like 9 mics and it's all like amplified. What was it about this music that pushed you to pursue this?
About his music?
Yes.
I just think the songs are great.
Excellent.
I think they're really raw and true.
And I'm going to ask one more question,
okay,
and then we're going to let you be amazing. But when people listen to your music, if there's one emotion or sense that you want people to take away with them when the evening or when your song is done, what would you say that is? What's the thing you want people to experience the most from what you put forth into the world?
I guess I want them to feel like the things that they felt, they're not alone in having felt, like, you know, sort of a transcendent human experience, like the raw, emotive human experience.
Excellent. Well, you should show us what that is.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Hana Zara, everybody. Come on, round of applause. Let's hear it.
Well, hey, guys. It's a real honor to be here. The first song that I'm going to play is one that I wrote right after spending a couple of days in New York City, right before the set date for the last apocalypse, December whatever of 2012. And I was like, it's really interesting that every couple of years we like pick a new date for when the world is going to end. What's that about? So I wrote this song. It's called Dropout Generation. Here's a dropout song for a dropout generation. It's an easy fix for an apathetic nation, having dunes, daydreams of some wrecking ball event that wipes the whole slate clean again. Here's a dropout song for a dropout cheap, fast fix for an apathetic nation, and our silent plea for some wrecking ball event that wipes the whole slate clean again. You could be anything, a politician or a dancer, but you stopped questioning when you got far too many answers. So you chose the streets and the bridges and the boxcars and the easy money off of Highway 84. And when you slept, you dreamt of some wrecking ball event that wiped the whole slate clean again. Because you can't sell out or buy into any system when you've got no fight left and no one's really listening, except for the dropout kids in the dropout generation, singing fallout songs in abandoned building basements, having fight club dreams of some wrecking ball event that wipes the whole slate clean again. And so you turned your back on the life that they were selling just to buy a piece of the corporate revolution. With a peace sign patch in the face of Che Guevara and your dumb, wet dreams of the Greenwich Village era spun on dirty speed in the city street pollution. This is not a revolution. This is not a revolution. It's just not a revolution. It's just a dropout song for a dropout generation, the collective dream of an apathetic nation, and our silent plea for some wrecking ball event that wipes the whole slate clean again. Yeah, here's a dropout song for a dropout generation. It's a cheap, fast fix for an apathetic nation, having dooms, daydreams of some wrecking ball event that wipes the whole slate clean again. That wipes the whole slate clean again. Thank you all so much. Are my vocals coming through all right? All right, great. So this next song that I'm going to play is one that I wrote for a man who I was really in love with, and I met him when we were both 16, and I was with him until I was 22, which was just a year ago. Actually, I guess it was more 21, but in that time I sort of like watched him go downhill mentally, and it was really tough for me. And also I think a lot of people can relate to knowing somebody who's like incredibly magical and inspiring and also like incredibly unstable. And he liked to read science fiction novels and watch action movies, so I wrote this one for him, and it's called Science Fiction. Science fiction. I hate your action movies. I hate your clothing from the dumpster and your house beneath the freeway, and I'm still standing in the wake of all your schizophrenic madness. And you left me at the place where you trailed out beyond language, and so I tried to live without you in the quiet of the forest. But the quietness was heavy, and the heaviness reflects you. And I hate your loving arms, and that your girlfriend took your name, and that you still call me when you're lonely just to see if I still love you. And I love you like the wind comes in screaming off the lake, woken early in the morning to visions of your face. And I love you like the banshee as she shrieks in the sun. She didn't choose to know the future, it's the code in her blood. And I love you like my family, and I love you like my son, and I love you like the morning, the midnight becomes. I hate your science fiction and the lightness in your step and the trinkets in your pockets and the booze on your breath and how you always look dirty even when you are clean, and how those lines around your eyes, they just cut into me. And now my heart feels like metal and my veins run like rust. I had to start loving God, 'cause I can't love you this much. And the last time that I saw you, you were crazier than ever. You hadn't slept in a while, been living outside all winter. And you pulled back the plywood, and we slept on the floor. We dreamt of islands and children and growing old on the shore. But we both woke up thirsty and despising each other. You went digging through ashtrays with rough yellow fingers, and in the coffee house morning we stood by like beggars for nicotine buzzes and glasses of water. And I hate your crazy wisdom and your otherworldly freedom. While the rest of us stand still, you somehow never stop moving. And I love you like my devil, and I love you like my God. And I'm not really sure you existed at all. Your science fiction and the rhythm in your step and my fingers in your fingers and the smoke on your breath. And I'm still scared of your mindset, I'm still scared of your magic. I'm scared you'll die at the hands of your horrible habits. And I hate that I once knew you long before all of this started. You read books and played cello, we danced around the yard before we started making contact with those otherworldly forces. It was summer, we were kids with big dreams and round faces. Thank you, guys. All right, this next one's called Santa Ana, and I wrote it in a dream, which is always fun. I don't usually remember them. So yeah, I don't actually have any idea what it's about. Something deep in my subconscious. But it's sort of a sea shanty. She said she could see auras, the energy dancing around at the base of your spine. They were usually colors, but she said that yours, it was simply a column of light shooting into the atmosphere, bleeding into the afterlife. She said your purpose isn't here, no, it's up in the sky and straight in the middle of. Darling, you're dancing symmetrical eyes. There is an arrow, and it points to the dark, dark matter of your mind. And in the harbor, all the ships came bearing secrets from the other world. All of the whores and ethereal girls, I fell in love with her. The Santa Ana never loves a lonely sailor. No, the only thing she ever wants is to be the wind in which I toss, to see me drift forever lost, to smash my ship against the rocks and leave me breathless on the dock, is to be the wind in which I toss. She said I spent so long outside of my body, I spent so long outside of my mind, I spent so long in absolute darkness, and I spent so long in absolute light. And sometimes I wish I was still crazy, at least then I'd have God on my side. Oh, it's better than being half asleep while everyone's telling you to look alive, look alive, look alive. And in the harbor, all the ships came bearing secrets from the other world. All of the whores and ethereal girls, I fell in love with her. But Santa Ana never loves a lonely sailor. Not the only thing she ever wants is to be the wind in which I toss, to see me drift forever lost, to smash my ship against the rocks and leave me breathless on the dock, is to be the wind in which I toss. Yes, I got a little more time than I thought I did. I'm going to play two more by myself, and then I'm going to have Sam DuPont come up and play the last song with me. This next song is one of my newest songs. It's called Hartford, and I wrote it after driving through Hartford, Connecticut, and seeing that a lot of the buildings are even like past the point of foreclosure. They're like, you know, not even bothering to board up the windows anymore, and the rain is like, you know, causing holes in the roof. And I imagine that if I went inside, I would find like moss growing on the floors, and everything's covered in vines. It's sort of like a city that's going back to the land. And at first, I thought it was really sad to see like so much poverty and neglect, and then I sort of started to see that it could be like a really beautiful thing too. So I wrote this song where I sort of personify Hartford. Hartford, I saw you, guarded and empty, saw you lucid and blue, packing for food. And Hartford, I loved you, and I brought you flowers for the gaps in your streets, strewn your sidewalks with seeds. I saw you were thirsty, so I brought you rainstorms for the lines in your woodwork, for the moss on your floor. And then Hartford, I gave you up like a present to the pigeons and gulls, to the ravens and wolves. Oh, Americana mystic, American dream, with your cinematic moonlight and your blue kerosene carousel parts in the scrapyard and the gaps in your teeth. You daughter of nobody, oh, you daughter of nobody. Hartford, I saw you there from the freeway, under billboards and lights and fast food signs. And I heard you calling through the hum of the highway, heard your shiver and groan, your howl and moan. Oh, Americana mama of the sinew and soot, with a baby at your bosom and a fire underfoot, with your organic indifference and the depth of your love. Americana mama of all of us, oh, Americana mama of all of us. Hartford, I saw you wrapped in a blanket made of feathers and leaves and river reeds, and you stood in the sunshine, you little monster with the train of your backbone and broken window eyes. Oh, Americana classic, would you please let me go? I am kudzu and ivy, I am crumble and stone, I am skinnier than ever, and I'm shivering cold, with my streets paved with flyers by in silver and gold. Oh, Americana mystic, oh, you medicine man, with the leather of your bare feet and a gun in your hand, lead the army of the new world where Amanda is king and plants flowers in everything, and plants flowers in everything. Thank you. To make sure it was in the right key. This next one is called The North, and it's another pretty new song. I wrote it after realizing that winter is coming in Burlington, and that I've been living in Nebraska, which isn't that much warmer, but we're at least like, I feel like we're about a month behind seasonally than we are here. So winter comes a little earlier here, and it's a little bit more brutal. And I also wrote this song about some of the adventures that I've been on, and some of the adventures that my grandpa had when he was my age and he was in the Army. And I also wrote it about living in the Old North End. So this is called The North. This man collecting bottles at the bottom of my street, which would be fine, but it is 2 and I would like to go to sleep. But he's pacing with his grocery cart and howling in the dark with his prayers and incantations of the North. With his prayers and incantations of the North. And in Chinatown I made friends with the opium smokers. They were desperately morbid with no sense of humor. They were chasing the dragon and sleeping in the park. They said the winters are long here and the summers are short, and we go wrecking our bodies to try and stay warm, and we're martyred each year for the North. We are martyred each year for the North. Ooh, ooh. Mechanic from the lowlands of Nebraska, and in the Army his plane crash landed outside of Alaska. And they sent up their flares till there were holes in the snow, and they shivered in their boots till their bones nearly broke. They waited 10 days in the cold, and that last night they built a temple out of things that they collected. They wrote letters to their families with what strength they had left. Then they prayed for the living, and they prayed for the dead, and they prayed to the gods of the North. He said the tundra was worse than the war, and hell did arrive, but his debts never died, and his body belongs to the North. And Jesus was a family man before he went mad. He built a 3-story home in the Old North End. And he painted it yellow and he painted it red, sometimes with a steady and then a trembling hand. Some days he'd just lay in his bed, but his wife began to see it when the moon was full and bright. Jesus couldn't settle down. Jesus, sorcerer of the night, would go pacing like an alley cat and howling in the dark with his prayers and incantations of the North. With his prayers and incantations of the North. Thank you all so much again. Now I'm going to call my friend Sam up here. We're going to play this last one together. This last song that we're going to play is a song called Afterlife, and I wrote it when I was deciding that I wanted to leave my little town of Lincoln, Nebraska, and I wanted to move back to Burlington. I still had just really deep roots and strong connections here. And it's sort of a song about being like suspended between 2 places. So I wrote it before leaving Nebraska and coming to Vermont. is our debut. We've never played live together before. I always fall apart when it rains, as I am made of stars, dust and sand. And it kind of looked like night time all day, like someone drew the curtains on the land. And I stayed inside a week, dreaming of the afterlife, where the lights shine through the sheets, and they tell us there's a world outside. There's still a world outside for me. And you don't come around anymore. I'm sure you like to think we just lost touch, but somehow it still shakes me to the core to think that you no longer care that much. And now each day I stick around. It takes a little part of me, a little part of me. I tried to make it in this town, but I think it got the best of me. It got the best of me, and I still think it's my fault. I shouldn't have acted so cool. I should have loved you more, but I could fill a giant room with things I held so dear to me, and then carelessly cast to the fire. So when the summer comes back around, I'll have sold all my things and moved away. Try to find my way in a new town, and start to plant my roots in a new place. But they say if I can't be happy here, then I won't be happy anywhere. Not happy anywhere, but I'll give it all I got, just as long as there's a fight in me. I will fight for this. Maybe I'm still young enough to imagine that a place exists that needs me as bad as I need it. And I stayed inside all week, dreaming of the afterlife, of the afterlife. of a place I hardly recognize. I hardly recognize. Did I fall in love here once? Or was I young here once? Oh, whatever the reason, this place feels just like home to me. Yeah, whatever the reason, this place feels just like home to me. Thank you all so much. To the streets of a place I hardly recognize. I hardly